So everyone, please start writing with me. Preparation of alkynes. First, from carbides. So if you check out CaC2, calcium carbide, CaC2 on hydrolysis will give always calcium hydroxide plus HC triple bond CH. Right. Oh, by the way, how do you produce calcium carbide? We'll produce that with calcium oxide plus carbon, which is coke. On heating, it will become CaC2. Correct. Plus O2. So this way you can create calcium carbide. Structurally, if you recall from group 1, you may have learned that, group 2, you may have learned that C triple bond C with negative charge on both the sides is balanced by Ca2 plus by ionic bond. So this is the structure. So that on hydrolysis is given to give us calcium hydroxide and acetylene. So you can see we'll get this as acetylene. So smallest of the alkyl form here. Okay. When you have minus on both the side, what do we call it? Acetylide ion. Acetylide ion. Same way, if we see Mg2C3, that on hydrolysis will give us CH3, C triple bond C, H plus MgOH twice. And minor product that is formed is CH2 double bond C, H2. This is minor product. The major product is this one. Reason? Triple bond carbon is more stable than the allyl. This we discussed the other day. See, by structure, if you observe, it is C triple bond C, C with 3 minus on one side and minus 1 on the other side. And this has been balanced by Mg2 plus, Mg2 plus. This is the ionic form which you have. Okay. So this can be resonance stabilized as well, right? Because it is 3 minus, you can push this minus charge here and we can get C double bond C with minus 2 and minus 2. This way. This form where you have a triple bond, it is called propionide, and this form which you have is alkylide. So propionide or alkylide on hydrolysis, wherever there is minus, just keep pushing as many hydrogens as possible. So C minus is there, 1 H plus will come here, 3 minus is there, so 3 H plus will come here. That would give us major product as this, and alkylide will give you minor product as allyl group. Right? So this is from the carbide forms. Next, second method by which we can get alkynes is from higher alkynes preparation from ethyne. So if you take simple ethyne, how do we get to the higher alkynes preparation? For instance, if you have CH triple bond CH and treat that with NaNH2. See, NH2 minus is a very, very strong base because it comes from a weak acid NH3. And if you recall, the pK value of NH3 is around 38. So if it gives NH2 minus, so NH2 minus plus H plus. So you can see that this is a very, very weak acid giving a very, very strong base. Correct? Since it is a strong base, it can extract H plus from the terminal alkyne very easily, because if you check out the pK value for the same here, it is around 25. Okay, while after the reaction, if you check, it would become CHC triple bond minus Na plus and NH3, whose pK value is approximately 38. So where does the reaction proceed more? In the forward direction, which means we will be able to generate this nucleophile, when you treat that with NaNH2. All right. So now this CH triple bond C minus, which we have generated, Na plus. Now you can react that with any alkyl halide, RCl, followed by SN2 mechanism, which means this will attack on R, Cl minus will leave. So we would get CH triple bond C and R gets substituted. Okay, and you can see it is still at the it's still at the terminal position. So the alkyne which is formed is at a terminal position. So which means further reaction can also be taken, which means we can have R C triple bond CH. If we treat that with NH2 minus, again I can get RC triple bond C minus Na plus, and further reaction with Rx or Cl will give us R C triple bond C and R. So I can make it as much substituted as possible. So that's how we can get higher alkanes by treating the terminal alkynes and then reacting with the desired alkyl group to be produced. Clear? Now, if this R group is not primary, suppose if it is at the secondary or tertiary position, for instance, if I take CH triple bond C minus and then Cl is present here, then E2 will be predominant product. So instead of acting like a nucleophile, it will act like a base, extract chlorine, and you will get double bond, because this is also a very, very strong base. So it would refer to go as an E2 mechanism to get the substituted alkene form. So even if you have a tertiary group here like this, so the same reaction here also, it will extract proton, remove chlorine from here, you would get double bond. So 2 degree, 3 degree Rx, okay, Rx groups give E2 as predominant products. Predominant products. Make a note, everyone. See how from higher alkane, from lower alkenes, we can get higher alkynes. The one thing we need to be careful here is if you want to extend that R has to be as primary as. When you have secondary and tertiary, the crowding has increasing beta. So SN2 reaction will become very less. For SN2, it has to be as less crowded as possible, right? Then what is the best route it will take? Because being a strong base, it will always go for E2 mechanism. For example, questions like this are asked, like convert, if you have to convert CH triple bond CH to, a group like this with C triple bond CH. So how can we do that conversion here? So first we treat with NaNH2. We will get CH triple bond C minus. Then we can react that with okay, one CH is missing here. CH2, C triple bond CH, yeah. So to get this, what I should take? I should take benzyl chloride here, react that with benzyl chloride through SN2 mechanism. It will get hold of that Cl, and that Cl is removed, and this particular group gets attached. So I suppose that point is clear, right?
Sir, for phenyl chlorides, it is not possible.
No, beta. Phenyl chlorides does not give SN2, no? Right. On the similar lines, if at all, we check out one more example. If we have CH triple bond CH, treat that with two equivalents of NaNH2. NaNH2 of two equivalents. So we'll definitely get C triple bond minus Na plus and Na plus here. So both sides, we can have the attack of groups. So suppose in case if we treat this with CH2 6 times with Br on one side and Br on the other side, both sides Br2 is present. So from this end Br will leave and this will attack, this end Br will leave, this will attack. So what happens? It will become a ring form. So it will become more like an 8-membered ring, correct? So we would have this form here like this with C, H, 1, 2, 3, 4, yeah. C triple bond C with this form. Okay, you know that we can have alkyne existing in an 8-membered ring, not in 6-membered or 7-membered ring. In fact, anything after 8-membered ring, we can always have a triple bond existing in the cyclic chain. So this will be the final product. If we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, one Br is on this side, one Br is on here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, one more extra Br is. This is the way it is. So first C triple bond C minus will attack from here, Br will leave. And this minus, after attacking, after forming here, it will attack here and this will leave. So what happened? It will form a cyclic member, which is this one. The same cyclic member cannot be formed as a 6-membered ring, but as an 8-membered ring, it can have a straight chain here, where there is a triple bond. Understood?
Yes.
Next. This way we can prepare, alkynes, any type of alkynes we require, we can always prepare this. Suppose if we have any dehydrohalogenation to be done, then how do we make it? So let's see, dehydrohalogenation is the third type, dehydrohalogenation of vicinal or geminal dihalides. So in case if we have C, X and X, this has one H, this has one H. So this is vicinal dihalides. If you treat this with alcoholic KOH by E2 mechanism, we can expect one halide and one H will come out. So we would get the product as double bond C, okay, and X, which is present this way. An alkene is formed here. See, after here, I can't use alcoholic KOH again, because here you require even more powerful base like NaNH2. So through NaNH2 again, I can remove this X and H. So E2 is possible here to form finally C triple bond C. Got it? So two direct equivalents of alcoholic KOH does not give a prominent product of alkyne. But if you take first the reaction with alcoholic KOH to form this vinyl group, and vinyl group can also be relieved by NaNH2. Correct? See, in case if you have a terminal alkynes here, this is for any substituted one. This is for any substituted one. Suppose if you have complete terminal alkyne only, like we have H here, X here, C, H and X here. Now, if you treat that with alcoholic KOH, E2, correct? If you treat that with alcoholic KOH here, first we will have H and X, double bond C, H and X. This is what is formed. No, sorry, this H is not there. Yeah, this is what is formed first. Got it? And afterwards, you are seeing it is difficult to again use alcoholic KOH and E2. Just like in the up case, what do we have here? We will get something like C, triple bond C and H is what you will get. All right. So this formation is what you will observe. Right. So when you have this form, again, alcoholic KOH is not very much useful here. It is the NaNH2 that is more useful because that is a strong base. So that will give this triple bond here. Okay. But problem with this NaNH2, I'll tell you here that after formation of this terminal alkyne, one extra mole of NaNH2 again will extract this proton which is present, and finally it will leave out as salt form. So the final product, if you observe with NaNH2, has to be this. So you have to leave it in a salt form, not in an acid light form. Okay, so not like a triple bond CH form. Let me give you as an example. Suppose if I take CH3, CHCl, CH2Cl, treat that with alcoholic KOH. First we would have CH3, CH, double bond CHCl. This is formed. React that with NaNH2. If this is given, it will form CH3, C triple bond CH. But like I said, it won't stop it here. It will again react with NaNH2 and form CH3, C triple bond C minus Na plus. Okay. Now, if you want to get the H plus on the last form and get an acid propyne, then we have to do an acid hydrolysis so that C minus extract the proton and becomes this. So this is the final product. So to get the propyne, first we have to go through this journey of alcoholic KOH, NaNH2, again NaNH2, and finally hydrolysis. Only this hydrogen is leaving beta. This hydrogen and this chlorine is left here. That hydrogen is intact. That will go in the next step, because now you have a terminal alkyne. Terminal alkyne's pKa is approximately 25. So that would react with NH2 minus as a acid-base reaction to give this salt form and NH3, whose pK value is around 38. So this reaction will also happen afterwards. Yes, we can use NaNH2 two times. Most recommended is 1 mole of alcohol and 1 mole of NH2. Got it? This is most useful way to do it. Got it? When you take 2 moles of NaNH2, got it? There is a rearrangement problem which I'll show you in some time. So most recommended is always to go with first alcoholic OH and then NaNH2. Done. Next. This is a preparation by alkynes from geminal vicinal diols. Let us see about geminal cases. Suppose if you have geminal cases, geminal dihalides. So in here, if you check out CH3, CH, H, C, Cl, Cl and H. Now both of them are at the geminal positions. Same alcoholic OH will give us CH3, CH, double bond, CH, Cl. Again, NaNH2. I have to take 2 equivalents now. Why 2 equivalents? Because it will form a triple bond as well as remove the terminal proton also. And afterwards, we make hydrolysis to get CH3, C, triple bond, CH. So that's how the same product is formed in either of the cases, but I guess you got an idea what to do. Right. So this is how the reaction takes place in geminal. One special case of geminal which you need to learn is this. When you have pH, C, pH here, H here, and we have CH, Cl, and Cl here. And I treat this with alcoholic KOH first, making an E2 elimination. So I'll get this as pH, pH, double bond C, H and Cl. So minus HCl has come here. So we get this as vinyl chloride. Now if you treat this with NaNH2, we are getting actually PHC, triple bond C, pH, which means phenyl has got migrated to the other side. Let us see the mechanism, how this is taking place. First, up to this point, it is a simple E2 mechanism. So we have H here and Cl here. Okay. Now, because there is a strong support of this phenyl groups on the other side here, NH2 minus will take away this H plus from here. All right. So first it will take this H plus, pH, C, double bond C. So it would get this minus charge with Cl on it plus NH3. This is what you would get. And as the Cl, as this minus charge will support as a triple bond, this phenyl group will shift here and chlorine would leave. Because carbon is getting an extra bond from this C minus charge. So one of the bond has to break. So it will break as pH minus. That pH minus will attack on this carbon, removing this Cl minus. So thereby we would get the product as pH, C, triple bond C and pH formation here. Clear on that, everybody? This is one special reaction you must check out. Okay. You might ask, sir, what if there are 2 CH3 groups here? Got it? When you have 2 CH3 groups also, the product formation is observed in a similar pattern here. If we have CH3, CH3, H, H, Cl, Cl in the presence of alcoholic KOH, first E2 mechanism, we will get CH3, C, CH3, double bond, CH, H and Cl. Okay. Now when you treat that with NH2 minus, same case, it doesn't have any alternative but to remove the proton from here. The triple bond will form here, methyl will shift here, Cl will go from there. So I'll get CH3, C, triple bond C, CH3. Okay, students, so this is the product that is expected to form. Okay, in case we have fluorine, then what would happen? That is your question. Okay. Yes, so in case if we have H here, like this, what we got, and there is fluorine on the other side, correct? Okay. So first case, you have to expect the elimination from here. Even in the case of fluorine also, the elimination will take place, but the mechanism is slightly different. Like if you have F and F here, OH minus will extract the proton from here first. Carb anion is formed, right? Then the double bond character, carb anion character is formed here, delta minus, with fluorine leaving. Just like how Hoffman products we got, remember? Got it. So we will get that product as CH3, CH3, then double bond C and H, F here. Got it. Then when you treat that with NH2 minus, This will go, CH3 will try to come here, F minus will leave. Okay, same problem here also. This CH3 will get anion character first, and then the attack will take place because fluorine is a weak leaving group. Yes, all of you have made a note of that. Right. Next, see, this is about the preparation, how the alkynes are prepared. Now we'll see how this alkynes will become a part of, carbonyl group. So let me use this as nucleophilic addition of acetylides to carbonyl groups. Carbonyl as in aldehydes and ketones. So keep writing with me. CH3, C triple bond CH. When we treat with NaNH2, acid-base reaction will take place because it is at the terminal position. So you'll get C triple bond C minus Na plus. And if we treat this with any aldehyde or ketone, H and H, I'm taking the smallest of the carbonyl group, which is formaldehyde. Then the C minus will attack on this carbon as a nucleophile. So nucleophilic addition will take place. So the product you will get is CH3, C triple bond C with this carbon getting O minus charge and H2. This is what you will get. And this O minus charge can be hydrolyzed to get CH3, C triple bond C, CH2OH. This is the product formation. So given any compound, you should know what is the product formation in carbonyl compounds. Right, students? I guess that point is clear. So let us do one example based on this. Suppose if it is given CH triple bond CH, right? So check out, if we treat that with 1 mole of NaNH2, what do we get? I'm taking only one equivalent. So we'll get CH triple bond C minus Na plus. That if we treat with a cyclohexyl methyl chloride, then we know that on this methyl chloride, on this CH2, we would get a combination of C triple bond CH. This is what it is going to get formed. Again, from here, if we use NaNH2 of one equivalent, so we will get CH2 C triple bond C minus. With this, if we treat with ketone, 2-butanone. So when you treat that with 2-butanone, you will get a product this way: CH2 C triple bond C combining with carbon with one CH3 and one ethyl group and one O minus, which on hydrolysis will finally get the same product with H, with OH. So this kind of a conversion you must be aware of. Most of the questions that comes from alkynes would be of this conversion type. After A, next molecule is B, then C, then D. What is the final product which you will have this way? Let us do one more JE question on similar lines. So this was from 2014 JE question. So it is given like this: HO connected with triple bond H, this way. And the question was given as first NaNH2 excess. It's given as NaNH2 excess. Second, CH3 CH2I of one equivalent. Third, CH3I of one equivalent. Fourth, H2 Lindlar's catalyst. So we got to choose the final product. So option were given, and from the options you have to find out what is the product X. So this is what was asked in 2014 JE. Let's see how we can get the product here. So first, when you use excess amount of NaNH2, which means wherever the protic hydrogens are, we have to remove this. There is one protic hydrogen here, there is one protic hydrogen here. Remove both of them. So what do we get here? We'll get O minus connected with CH2, another CH here, right? So it is C triple bond C and minus. This is how the compound has been. Now, from here, if you treat with CH3, CH2I of one equivalent, the question is whether it is the C minus which attacks first or it is the O minus which attacks first. Which is more electronegative between these two? O is more electronegative compared to C minus, which means which can be easily donating. C minus is better donating. So which will donate first here? CH2. This will donate. I minus will leave. So what is the product formation here? So we'll get this as O minus connected with C, triple bond C with CH2, CH3. This is the formation. Again, if you treat that with CH3I, this time O minus is the one which will attack. So you can see O minus is the one which will attack, I minus will leave. So what is the product we will have here now? So we would have C triple bond C with ET. I'm just writing it as ET with CH2 and another CH2 O, okay, with CH3. So this is the ether which is formed. And this on reaction with H2 Lindlar's catalyst. Lindlar's catalyst, you know, it will make a triple bond to convert into double bond and give you a cis product. So we would get a cis product like this with ET, double bond, H and H with CH2, CH2 and OMe. So like these options were given, one was with trans, one was with cis, one time ET is here, methyl is here, like that 4 options were given. So I guess you know what to do. Make a note everyone. First rearrangement. If we have a substituted triple bond, let's say I have C triple bond C, CH3, this is substituted. And I treat that with NaNH2 excess. On doing so, the triple bond will get rearranged such a way that it would become now CH2C triple bond C minus and Na plus. This is the product you would get. Let us go through the mechanism once. So we have CH3C triple bond C with CH2 and H, and I have NH2 minus reacting. Correct? So NH2 minus will extract the proton from the CH3 here, although it is not very reactive here, because this the pK value of this particular carbon is quite high compared to that of NH3. This would be around 45-46 pK value. But since you are using excess amount, this will process it to go in the forward direction. The reaction will go in the forward direction to give CH3, C triple bond C, CH2 minus plus NH3. Clear everyone? So it will go in the forward direction. Again, it gets rearranged to get this as CH3, C minus double bond C double bond CH2. And from the released NH3, what it is, NH2H, this H plus will extract the proton and forms CH3, CH, double bond C, double bond CH2. So an allyl group has been formed. Okay. Now the last carbon which you have again, if you check out H, now this has become slightly more acidic compared to that of the first case, because earlier it has sp3, now it has sp2. So acidic character has increased. So from here, if we check out NH2 minus, we'll extract this proton, again get CH2 minus. So the product formation would be CH3, C, CH, double bond C, double bond CH minus. So this would get rearranged to give CH3, CH minus C, triple bond CH. Because it has formed NH3 here, so NH2H is present. So the minus will extract the proton, NH2 will come out. So the product you will have here is CH3, CH2, C, triple bond CH. And you know, terminal carbon will again react with NH2 minus to give the final product as CH3, CH2, C, triple bond C minus, Na plus plus NH3. This is where it will stop. So wherever we have a substituted alkyne, if you want to bring them to the terminal alkyne, then this is the procedure. You keep reacting with excess of NaNH2, it will convert into a terminal alkyne. Yes. If you want to convert into an propyne, or in this case butyne, then you just react with H3O plus, take this salt and add it to H3O plus, you'll get that butyne form. So if the question is asked this way, Like what are the major products in this case? CH3, C, Cl, Cl, CH2, CH3, and we are using excess amount of NaNH2. Okay. One product we can get is CH3, C triple bond C, CH3 is what is our desired product, and that is what we expect, that this hydrogen and chlorine will undergo dehydrohalogenation. One more hydrogen and chlorine will undergo dehydrohalogenation. But the other product which will which you must be aware that it would be CH3, CH2, C triple bond, C minus and Na plus, which will be major in this case. This will be major and this will be minor. In fact, if you keep it for a very long time, this entire compound will convert into this major product in excess amount of NaNH2. And that is a rearrangement reaction. This is the first of the reactions. In the first part itself, again I'm writing rearrangement, but this time from terminal to non-terminal. Terminal to non-terminal. Earlier what I did was non-terminal to terminal. This time we are doing terminal to non-terminal. So what is the product formation here? We have CH3, CH2, C triple bond, CH, and react that with alcoholic KOH here. So we would get CH3, C triple bond, C, CH3. This is the product formation. Let us see the mechanism here. So same kind of mechanism here also, CH3, CH2, C triple bond, CH. Okay, before getting into the more details of mechanism, okay, one thing we must understand is that if you treat that with OH minus, on treating that with OH minus, if H plus is lost here, so what do we get? CH3, CH2, C triple bond, C minus plus H2. You know that the pK value for this is around 25, while the pK value here is around 15.5. So do you think this reaction will go in the forward direction? Not so much. So this reaction won't go. So make sure that you cannot remove this proton in the presence of alcoholic KOH. Got it. Instead, what we can do, CH3, we have CH3, CH2, C triple bond, CH. This is how it is. So now this H which is present on this second carbon here, this OH minus will extract the proton from here and we'll get the carb anion on that second carbon here. So we'll get CH3, CH minus, C triple bond, CH. And this would give us carb anion on the secondary and that vinyl carbon here. So we'll get CH3, CH double bond, C double bond, CH minus. And from the H2O which has formed here, so it would extract the proton and we would get this as CH3, CH double bond, C double bond, CH2. Got it? So instead of driving OH minus to remove this and form a salt like this, it would expect to get rearranged by removing H plus from this carbon. Although its pK value is very less, but the reason for doing this is excess. We are using excess amount of alcoholic KOH. Excess reactant will always drive in the forward direction. So we'll get this alene form here. And from there, again, if you can check out this hydrogen which is present on it, I can treat that with NH2 minus, OH minus, OH minus. So we'll get this as CH3, C, double bond C, double bond CH2 with minus charge on it. Correct. So it will become triple bond here, single bond here. So we can see that we'll get CH3, C, triple bond C, single bond with CH2 minus. Correct. So once we get from here, H2O which is formed, it will extract the H plus, gets protonated to form CH3C, H3. This is the final product which is formed. So from less substituted to more substitution, if you want to make it, then this is the reaction that it is going to happen. Okay. So since the reaction, again, you can see that here the reaction has to break a carbon hydrogen stable bond to form this H2O. Excess with some amount of temperature would always help the reaction to go into the forward direction. Clear? So let me give it as the final gist of it. Not that you have to remember the mechanism, students. It is just for the sake of understanding. You just need to know which from which terminal case where we have to get rearranged. Everyone had made a note of it? See, if an example is given this way, let's say it has been given bromine here and bromine here, and you have to write the major products in both the cases. That is NaNH2 excess with heat and alcoholic KOH excess and heat. So when you write it as excess and heat, we know that it will become CH3, CH2, C triple bond, C minus Na plus. Remember, in case of NaNH2, it is coming from more substituted towards terminal. So here it is already at the terminal. From terminal, it can't go towards the more substitution. But from terminal, this can go to more substitution in the case of alcoholic KOH. So if you check out the final product, we will have CH3, C, triple bond C, CH3, this as the major product. And the minor product would be simply CH3, CH2, C, triple bond, CH. This will be the minor product. Sorry. So when you are putting it as, if you make this reaction to happen, let's say, because you are adding alcoholic KOH excess, you are expecting this, correct? Here there is no rearrangement that can take place. So instead, when you add this alcoholic KOH, directly this reaction won't take place, but this is in an equilibrium format. This is not a final product, correct? That's why first OH minus will be reaching this, getting rearranged here because of resonance, which means it can recommend into the forward direction either by heat or adding this excess amount. Correct. So from there it will extract, come to the alene form. From alene form, again it can get back to this. One thing, just write it as a note here that for rearrangement of terminal to non-terminal, which is our case right now, non-terminal, catalytical quantity of KOH is sufficient provided enough heat. Okay, so if you can provide enough heat, even a catalytical amount, which means small amount, is also sufficient. Got the point? Let us see the next reaction. Second reaction is about formation of alkynes from trihalides. So from trihalides, how we can get alkynes? Suppose if you have 2 moles of CHCl3 and react that with 6 moles of silver, and on heating, we'll get 6 moles of AgCl plus CH triple bond CH. No mechanism sets for here, but just the way to remember is this. Imagine we have Cl, Cl, and Cl, and I have 6 moles of silver. 6 moles of silver will provide 6 electrons. Correct? So these 6 electrons and the 6 chlorines, all of them will get terminated with silver. Okay, and the dots that are formed here with the carbons will get back to formation of this. So think about this way. Okay, this is one way to prepare it. Now it is not necessary to have hydrogen also, which means I can have RCCl3 as well. So I can have RCCl3. I can take 2 moles of it, make react with 6 moles of Ag and heat. So we'll get R, C, triple bond C and R plus 6 moles of AgCl. Let's put it. Clear on that? Make a note, everyone. Next, from coal-based electrolysis. So if you remember how it is done by coal-based electrolysis. So in coal-based electrolysis, in case we already have a double bond like this, CH, and we have COO minus K plus and COO minus and K plus. We know on electrolysis, we used to get this as CH dot double bond CH dot minus 2 moles of CO2, which will eventually terminate it to form this. That is how you can get alkynes using coal-based electrolysis. AgBr, AgI, all of these are possible, but CI3 is unstable. CBr3, that can be done. Okay, but mostly it is done with chlorides because they are still in a stable form. Okay.
Sir, fluorides?
Fluorides, no, it can't be done with fluorides because AgF is not a precipitate. Now, this is all the preparation part. Now, let us see the alkyne properties. See, alkyne properties. I'll just give you an introduction for 10 minutes and then we'll stop the session. So, generally, when it comes to stability, first we'll write the bullet points which are important. CH triple bond CH, if you compare to that of CH3, C triple bond CH, as compared to that of CH3, C triple bond CH3. The stability will always increase, all the alkyl groups increases because of hyperconjugation. Next, reactivity. When it comes to reactivity, especially you're comparing alkenes and alkynes. What is the major difference? The most important part is alkynes are very, very less reactive than alkenes. Alkynes are less reactive than alkenes, in which cases sorry, towards electrophilic addition reactions. Okay, there are particular reasons for it. The reasons are, so we'll point out all the reasons one by one. First reason, vinyl carbocation formation. Suppose if you have CH3 CH double bond CH2 and you're adding an electrophile. As an example, let us consider H plus is an electrophile. So on adding that, we would get a carbocation which is at secondary position, and that would get resonance stabilized from hyperconjugation from the adjacent carbons. But in case if it was a triple bond CH3 C triple bond CH and we are trying to get it electrophilic addition, so what do we get? CH3 CH double bond CH2 plus. So this is a vinyl carbocation. On vinyl carbocation, usually hyperconjugation is highly avoided. Secondly, it is on sp2 hybridized carbon. So here it would be very, very difficult to keep it that stable. So if you consider this as an intermediate 1 and intermediate 2, which is more stable. So stability wise, if you check out, first one is more stable than the second one. So which is more favorable? Electrophilic addition in the alkene is more favorable compared to that of alkynes. All right. So this is one of the reasons, vinyl carbocation formation. Second reason is cyclic intermediate formation. Cyclic intermediate like bromonium ion form by alkynes is less stable than alkenes. Why? See, in case of alkenes, we will get this as CH2 with Br formation and plus charge. This is what you will have. Now in here, if you check out, we have CH3 CH2 C double bond CH with Br plus charge. This is what it is formed. Now, which one has more strained ring? Already both of them are strained rings. On top of that, it is also trying to hold a double bond here. So which means this ring is more strained ring. This is going to be more strained ring. So since this is more strained ring, what about the stability? If I take this as 1 and 2, which is more stable, dear? So when it comes to stability, 1 is more stable than the second one. Hence, even the electrophilic addition of bromine, that is also not going to give you a strong formation here. Right. Third reason for showing that very weak electrophilic addition form is high percentage of S character. High percentage of S character coupled with more symmetrical distribution of pi cloud. Pi cloud makes difficult to get polarized by electrophile. So which means if an electrophile is approaching, it becomes very difficult to get even polarized. I'll give you a bond data for this to understand easily. Suppose if you check out the bond dissociation energies of various bonds, first carbon-carbon bond. Carbon-carbon bond is around 83 kilocalories per mole. Next, carbon-carbon double bond, it is around 146 kilocalories per mole. Next, carbon-carbon triple bond, if you see, it is around 200 kilocalories per mole. See the difference in the energies here between 83 and 146. The difference is around 63 kilocalories. Got it? While the difference in these two is 54 kilocalories. Got it? So you can see there is a difference here of around 9 kilocalories per mole. So there is around 9 kilocalories, right? Which means if you compare double bond and single bond, so from double bond to single bond, if you get this much amount of energy is released. So from 146, it would now become 83, which means around 63 kilocalories of energy is released when you have an addition on double bond. But if you have an addition on triple bond, to get a double bond, only 54 kilocalories is released, which means it is less than that of what a double bond is trying to form a single bond compared to that of a triple bond trying to form a double bond. Okay. So which means the second pi bond in ethyne is less stable than the first pi bond. So that is an important note to find here, that second pi bond in ethyne or any alkyne is less stable than first pi bond by about 9 kilocalories per mole. 9 kilocalories per mole. Okay, so one thing we can say from here, that enthalpy of hydrogenation of alkyne to alkene is greater, because in that case energy released overall, if you check out, because more stable the bond is, less will be the energy released. Clear, everybody? So as an addition reaction of alkynes, right, that would be better, which means if you check out enthalpy of hydrogenation of alkyne to alkene is greater than that of alkene to alkane. Okay, and that makes us an important conclusion that when it comes to hydrogenation, alkynes are more reactive as compared to alkenes. But when it comes to electrophilic addition, in electrophilic addition, these are the cases, like, you know, it will have a very strong S character, it would have a vinylic character, or it would have an unstable ring formation. All of this would make it less reactive. Clear, everybody? So this energy detail would be much important when it comes to hydrogenation. But when it comes to electrophilic addition, in that case, it is the percentage S character, which is very strongly bonded, which means, see, think this way, this triple bond will not get easily polarized. So if you consider electrophilic addition like C triple bond C, and electrophile is approaching, and you have CH3, CH double bond CH2, and an electrophile is approaching. Here, this won't get easily polarized. Remember electromeric effect? In electromeric effect, we learned that this will get delta positive, delta negative, and this side it will attack. But this polarization is not easy in case of triple bond as compared to that of a polarization here. Correct? So polarization much easy here. So that's why the attack here would be at a much faster rate compared to that of this one. So if at all this is rate 1 and this is rate 2, you know, if you compare the rates of both of them, so rate 1 would be less than rate 2. But in the case of hydrogenation, it is all about how much bond energy that is released. So if you see from double bond, triple bond to double bond, only this much amount of energy is released. Correct? I mean, sorry, this is how much it is getting less stabilized, which means more amount of energy, like that is 54 plus 9. This whole amount of energy is released as compared to that of double bond to single bond, which is only 63 amount of energy is released. If you have high percentage of S character here, this is SP and sp character. This is sp2 and sp2 character, right beta? Which has more s character? Triple bond, correct? So if we have more s character, more stable, what do you say, more amount of electronegative nature it would have. So since it has more electronegative, both of them have more electronegative, they do not get easily changed into positive and negative, which means they do not get polarized easily. Is that point clear, beta? Understood? And
Yes.
because it is more symmetrical distribution, which means this is a complete symmetrical cloud, isn't or not? This will be like a cylindrical cloud, correct? So no matter wherever electrophile comes from all the side, it is the same symmetry which it experiences. So polarizing becomes very difficult for an electrophile. Okay. While here in the second case, it has sp2 character. This carbon has sp2 character. This carbon has sp2 character. So this does not have so much of s character. So they would be ready to get polarized and accommodate the electrophile. Is to understand how it behaves in the case of an hydrogen addition. See, in hydrogen addition, what we are expecting is in double bond, if you have H and H gets added. Here there is no polarity required, correct? Here it is only the bond strength that makes the important criteria for it. Suppose if there is hydrogen and hydrogen getting added here. So hydrogenation depends more the amount of hydrogenation, then what do we say? More amount of reactivity. Clear? More is the rate. Now if you see a double bond, correct, trying to convert into single bond, because if you see the double bond is more amount of double bond has more stability, because the energy difference between these three is 63, which means this is more stable. But here the energy difference is only 54, which means this triple bond is less stable. So a triple bond to convert into double bond is rather easier compared to that of a double bond converting into a single bond. So here, if you are expecting this to happen, the amount of energy released here, that is delta H of hydrogenation, and if you compare that with the delta H of hydrogenation here, to get into the formation of a double bond this way, then if you compare the energy released in both of cases, the second case will have more energy release compared to the first case. So that is the difference between hydrogenation and electrophilic addition. In electrophilic addition, these three are the important criteria: vinyl carbocation, cyclic intermediate, as well as high percentage of S character, because of which the reactivity is very less. But in the case of addition of H2, in case of H2, just check out which is more stable or less stable. Between these two, this much amount of energy will be released, which means this double bond is more stable. Between these two, 54 energy is released, which means triple bond is less stable. Less stable means more reactive. Clear? So if two hydrogens are approaching, this triple bond will make more reaction compared to that of this double bond.